Hi guys, I am in my studio right now, at home, because I actually couldn't fall asleep. I don't know, I guess it's kind of been a lot on my mind. Yes, we did not long ago. Yeah, we went to Tenny 선배님의 after party today. It was actually such an amazing experience. Like, she is such a sweet 언니, and Rosie 선배님 was also there. Rosie 선배님, and she's so down to earth. She's great. Anyway, we got to have like a really fun time. We got to do some dancing, which was very, very interesting. It was, yeah, definitely a night to remember. Okay, so basically, I don't know, I just wanted to talk to you guys because I felt like there was so much stuff piled, like words, like things that I wanted to say piled up inside of me, and I don't know, I just like didn't really have a way to express it properly and to let you guys know. And turning on like Insta and being able to talk to you like this is kind of like, well, the only really way that was possible right now. It still feels kind of weird talking to you guys at this time of night because I should be well asleep. It's like 5 in the morning. Yeah, it's almost 5 in the morning. But thank you. Okay, I actually jotted some stuff down that I wanted to say because, as some bunnies may know, it takes some time for me to properly process what I want to say before they are put into words. And, well, I don't know, you can think of it like as an extra thick filter that my words have to pass through before they are actually being said. And there is a reason for this. I'll get to that later. But basically, I made a promise with myself recently. I made a promise with myself to break free from a kind of shell that I built around myself. That's the most, I don't know how else I can explain it, but yeah, I want to break free from this kind of wall shell that I built around myself. And I think this was built in the time of when I started off as a trainee, and then from the time before I met Minijin 대표님. And okay, if I just tell you everything, if I go into detail, okay, I'm gonna go into detail because this is something that's important to me and is important for us in a way. No, this isn't sad. Well, it's not sad. You don't have to think of it as sad. It's actually something really good. It's something really positive. But there's a story behind it because, there's also always has to be a hard time for some breakthrough to happen. At least that's what I feel and I believe. So, okay, so back when I was a trainee, I was kind of like ignorant of how I felt in a way. So there were times where like deep down I knew something was wrong, but then like I forced myself to believe that that was normal, and like, you know, everything that's happening is very much normal in a way. And I remember being so cautious of like all the rules. I remember being so cautious not to break all these rules that you had as a trainee. And then I realized, like looking back now, that a lot of these rules, please, please don't crash on me live. Please don't do this, because I don't want this to like be lagging or anything. Will you be my... No, okay. Yes, reconnecting with my feelings. Okay, anyway, yeah, so there were all these rules, and then I realized afterwards that like a lot of these rules didn't have much meaning. And for example, and these are just like little things, you had to leave like a message before you were able to go to the toilet, and this was even in free time. And you were constantly being watched over when you were in the practice room. So you didn't have much freedom at all. I also actually remember, this is kind of weird, but I remember having to take pictures of what I ate before I was actually able to consume it. And I had to send them pictures to our manager, and she would have to check it. Anyway, there were lots of like little things. And the reason that we had to follow all these rules, this is how I felt. The reason that we had to follow all these rules was because otherwise we felt like we weren't going to be able to fulfill it. We weren't going to be able to debut. We felt that they were just going to cut us if we didn't obey all these rules. And even now, sometimes I think I haven't like gotten past that mindset in a way. So yeah, it may not be for the other members, but it is for my case. And this, of course, like very much changed when I met Minijintepyanim. I remember her being like also extremely shocked when she heard about our life as a trainee. I remember thinking, like, why would they use this kind of system when in fact it deprives us of creativity? And I'm not sure, like, it could be just because it's been passed down through the industry. Like, that could be the reason. And it also could be just because the people in control at that stage just wanted it to be easier to take control. So, yeah. Anyway, so through like having many, and when I say many, I mean many, I had many deep conversations with my mum. Was only after, having all these deep conversations with my mum was I able to realize the situation and understand what that time actually, how much of an effect it had on me, really. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just trying to okay. I wasn't actually like I wrote a lot of stuff down that like I was feeling, because I just couldn't get to sleep. I don't know what, like, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I started just like writing down how I felt and what I was going through. And then I never thought I was going to say all this. I didn't think that I was going to be talking to you guys like this about my past, because it takes a lot of courage for me to, really go into detail about that time. So, yeah. Actually, it was after a recent interview with members that I'm not quite sure when this interview is going to be released. I don't know, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it probably will be released after the Complex Con. But it was kind of like an important interview that we did. And this was all the members together. But anyway, yeah, after that interview is when I talked to my mum about how I noticed myself becoming very emotional, talking about my past experiences. And it was to the point, like, where I couldn't properly say what I wanted to say in the first place. And I just ended up just like not being, like, words not coming to mind. And I guess it was because, like, I felt so challenged in a way and strange for me to be sharing my own feelings in such depth. Because those emotions, for me, were like bottled up for a long time. They were just compressed inside of me for a very, very long time. And this interview was in front of cameras too. So I was like, on the inside, and then trying to be like, oh, keep it calm, on the outside. It very much didn't work. Like, although I tried very hard, I ended up, like, getting all teary and, like, my throat all getting all tight. But I tried my hardest. But yeah, it was because of that time, definitely, that time as a trainee, that I spent that time that I spent in such a confined environment, that I slowly grew ignorant of my emotions. Basically, yeah. So, and it may not have been in like a very direct way, but what I felt, my surroundings and my lifestyle was subconsciously telling me was, no, you can't express yourself. No, this isn't what they want. And if you were to do this, you may not be able to debut. And it felt like my identity was constantly being violated. And I don't know how I went through that at that time. It just, like, looking back now, I could never go through that again, because now I know how much that changed me. Yeah. And we were very, very lucky. We were so, so lucky, because we got to meet Minijin 대표님, who was there to help us, like, kind of break through that barrier, at least in a very creative way. So she was able to, like, bring back that creative side of us, bring back that side of us that wants to do music, that wants to really, build a relationship with music. Like, even at school, I remember I was a perfectionist, but I never had, like, these boundaries of how I should portray myself. And never did I have a voice in my head telling me, no, you can't say this, no, you can't do that. Never. So for someone whose passion is music, And for someone who needs to be open and free to build a relationship with music, I guess I just needed that side of me back. And like I don't know. I don't know. Like, there are trainees nowadays starting at even a younger age. And I feel like I'm definitely not saying that all the trainees would be in this kind of situation. I'm just saying there could be trainees that, like me, are constantly being held in a position where they are non-stop being compared and non-stop being ranked, and that's heartbreaking, and that worries me. And I mean, like, just because those children have, what I want to say is, just because those trainees, those children have a dream to one day perform on stage and to be a performer, they shouldn't be treated like dolls. They shouldn't be treated like dolls. That's what I wanted to say, basically. Yeah. I don't know. This is very weird for me to be expressing myself like this, but I just don't think trainees or artists should be experiencing even a remotely similar situation to what I went through at that stage, because it's, as I said, it's so heartbreaking. Because what if they don't have the